Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to SimTraX Broadcasting. This is Patrick Morrison, coming to you live here from North Carolina Speedway, or better known, The Rock. We are here at Rockingham, as this track is going to be an extra special here for you guys tonight. I'm sure we're going to be riddled with cautions, but nevertheless, it still should be a fantastic race as we are watching Eric Essary out there in the number 16. Actually, we're currently running 16th during practices, our qualifying times. Definitely were run last week, so we're going to get right to the race here in about 45 seconds. We'll bring Stella on here in just a moment, but let's take a look at the Subway 240 here at The Rock. 236 laps we're going to be running tonight with a 60% fuel limit. Let me tell you right now, these guys are going to be pitting a bunch here tonight, as it is a right front tire fryer, and they're going to be holding on as long as they can before the right rear decides to let go and give up on them. So you're going to see a lot of smoke. A lot of wrecking here tonight that we're going to see on the exit of 4 and on the exit of turn number 2. Now, personally, when I've been out here in an Xfinity car, that when you're racing out there, as bumpy as this track is, it is going to be especially scary, where they're coming through that turn. As we're watching the 32 machine, hits a good spot through there, but unfortunately, his time is not going to be fast enough to be extremely competitive tonight. Expect half the field to almost be lapped here tonight, as this 1 mile track has been ever so tough for many drivers. I even have down there in the bio that this is a love-hate relationship kind of track. Some people love it and other people hate it, and it's about a 50-50 split. One driver who's been out here most here of the night is Dalton Tucker, running over 100 practice laps before this race. So this is a guy who really wants to battle his way up to the front and definitely have an opportunity to come away possibly with a win. But fortunately, Dalton Tucker will be starting in the top 10. Stella, anything left to add here before we get to our starting grid for the night?
No, I'm liking this idea of 236 laps at Thunder Alley. We can expect to see, like you say, probably a lot of pit stops, maybe quite a few cautions too.
All right. Well, Jacob Gladelick is out there as well. Looks like we might have a fan out there, and it looks like VPay27 is going to be rooting on the number 10 machine as these guys are getting out there. Jacob Lee will be starting back here on the back half of the field, unfortunately. He had almost 40 drivers ready to go that were lined up for this race here tonight. But we're going to see if they can mash together. Stella, who was the winner here in 2003?
In '03, they had, my goodness, that is closed.
Okay, that should be Matt Kenseth, the number 17 machine. So we'll see how the number 17 does here tonight. Let's go ahead and get our grid kicked off here at The Rock for the Subway 240. Vincent Arthur, you'll see waiting for that number 24 Jeff Gordon machine to go ahead and load up, as he's going to take the pole position here tonight with Flatline Motorsports, and Mike Moultrie will be to the outside. You'll notice him out there in the number 40 Sterling Marlin car. All right, moving on to Cody Smith, who sits third. James Hudson will be fourth. And moving on, Brian Jones, Chris Snyder, that's row number 3. Eric Essary will be sitting in 7th next to Dalton Tucker. Remember I said, this guy's been practicing. He's going to be looking to shoot up to the front and get up there very quick and try to lead some laps. Nicholas Pressey, he ended up in the pole position on the Daytona 500, but I think he was knocked out of the top 10 after a late race wreck. He's going to be starting 9th. Josh Conover will be to his outside. Can't miss him out there in that Bud machine. Moving on to Justin Bland, who currently sits in the 11th spot. Brady Moats will be sitting in 12th. Moving on to the back half of our field as we continue to chop back. Al Likens will be starting in that 13th spot. Boy, coveted position is, unfortunately, he is going to be starting to the inside line, as Jacob Lee will be starting to the outside. He'll be sitting in the 14th spot. Kevin Baumler and Matthew George making up row number 8. Jacob Gladelick starts in 17th next to Sam Taylor. Now, we saw how Sam Taylor was doing out there last time, out there in a Ryan Newman car in the, I believe in the number 12 Alltail, looking to see how he does and chop his way up to the front. Moving on, Nick Geilis sits 19th next to Cody Height. Now, Height having some trouble out there, but he's going to be seeing if he can hold on in the number 15, as he got blasted last week. Watching for Daryl Johnson, who sits 21st, and Ed Adams. Now, Ed Adams, he's been with the league for quite some time, but man, oh man, did he get rocked last week. But definitely he'll be looking to see if he can turn it around. Blake Hoppy sits 23rd, and Dylan Picklesheimer will be our 24th driver. 24 drivers out of here, out of the Gen 4 cars. This should be fantastic. I'm waiting to see how long they can hold on and honestly, sell it. Who is going to survive this to the end? Rock definitely seems to rock people out of there and put them right back into the race trailer, but it's going to be tough. Seeing how hard these guys have been trying and practicing all night, and how is this going to transfer over to Vegas next week?
Yeah, that's a big change. But tonight, I just want to make some updates as far as you may see some of your drivers moving to the back. We had a few penalties from Daytona. Expect to see Frank Ranger, Dylan Picklesheimer, Tay McDonald, Nathan Warner, who I'm afraid is not here tonight, Daryl Johnson, Ed Adams, and Dustin Kleba will have no times for their races.
All right, and another driver who's shuffled all the way back in the number 48 Chevrolet, Chris Snyder. He'll be back 19 positions. He'll be starting in the 25th position. So this is going to chop him all the way back. Hopefully he's going to be able to work his way up to the front. When you get in the dirty air here in the back, it is just about impossible to fight your way up to the front because there is so little room to maneuver out here, but we are going to hold our breath for our drivers here as the Subway 240 is getting kicked off here. Pace truck heading on down into pit road. Vincent Arthur, Mike Moultrie, Cody Smith, James Hudson, here we go. Front three do make a solid breakaway. Arthur, Moultrie, and Smith get a solid split here as we hop on board here with Dalton Tucker. He's been pretty confident all the way through practice, looking to see if he had anything different he could find out about those tires. But Mike Moultrie keeping up here with Vincent Arthur. Moultrie's been doing pretty well here so far here in the league as he's been slicing back and forth, trying to figure out what is the best angle he wants to fight the rest of this season. Does he want to be up front, or does he want to start from the back and slowly wait for the cars to kind of peter off and then attack later on here in the race? But it looks like Vincent Arthur, he's got this thing to the floor right now. Not bad time with a 23.92. Only person to go faster than that is going to be Brian Jones back here in the 45. Right now he's currently sitting fourth, chopping his way up to the front. But man, oh man, right now he's going to see if he's got anything for these guys. As Smith, no, sitting here right in front. It's less than a tenth of a second. And 1 second back is Dalton Tucker, who now grabs a hold of fifth. He's going to be playing chase.
Yeah, speaking of chase, our fan favorite out there, Jacob Lee, is chasing the tail of our racers tonight. I'm not sure why he's down 10 places.
Well, I can already see from this angle that we're looking at, he's actually riding the rougher line here of the track. Notice how bouncy it is up toward the top, and he is deciding to stay high line. I'm wondering if he's trying to save some tire for the later parts here of this race. Unable to get down to the bottom. Ouch! Jacob Lee up into the wall. The number 10 Valvoline car getting in some trouble. That drops him down to dead last here. He's going to be looking to fight his way up to the front. So BP 27, so put that rally cap on because he's having some trouble out here. I don't know if he's dealing with a mechanical issue with that car, but unfortunately he has been rolling backwards right now. About a 25-26 out of him. The last lap, there we go, breaks underneath a 25-second lap, while Vincent Arthur currently in that number one spot with a 23.96. He is definitely on a roll here and not even looking back as we find Mike Moultrie half a second off pace here, but is Vincent Arthur burning this stuff up? Rockingham is extremely tough, and I would say I think teeth on the track would be smoother than this place rides, so we'll see how long they can hold out as Brian Jones looks to see if he can make a move there on Cody Smith. Smith backing up that turn in the 45. Brian Jones is ready to send it on in there, but no can do. Running out of room, and he has to back way up and see if he can play chase.
Yeah, this track you're talking about being bumpy. There's some wild stories regarding this track. I mean, they started in 65. They went to 1969. Initially started out as a flat 1 mile track, could you imagine? But in 69, they went ahead, did the redesign, gave us our lovely banking that we have here. In 77, would you believe that because they were, it was getting too monotonous, they said, they put 2 coats of bear grease onto this track. Now, bear grease is exactly what it sounds like. It made the track so slippery and so crazy that some of the drivers didn't even want to drive on it. You had to get in a groove where it wore off, and if you were so much as a foot out of that groove, you were out of control like you were driving on ice.
What?
Yes. Yes, and it wasn't until 1985 that they finally did a full repave on this track. Ooh-wee! There's somebody using a little bit of, the apron, number 30 there of Calvin Ballmer. But, so we are still looking at, what do you figure, a 19-year-old track right now that these gentlemen are racing on tonight.
Yeah, well, I know that Rockingham was scrubbed off the Cup schedule due to its roughness and unable to maintain competitive spirit of the drivers out there just because of how bumpy it was. But it should have been torn up. I believe it was last year is when they started, right after, I believe, a truck race finished here. It was torn up and repaved. We are just praying on a new scan to come through. But Stella, right now we are racing here in the 2003 year. So they are racing to the dot what it was. So that's why we saw how rough it was with Daytona, and we're seeing how rough it is here at Rockingham. Hopefully we won't see it being that bad once we reach Las Vegas or Atlanta out there. Now, take a look here at Calvin Ballmer. I know he's going to be surprised if he tunes here into the broadcast. I ended up finding him in an official, one of the top splits out there, ended up finishing 6th during an official Daytona race. So he's got to be riding a pretty good high out there, as he is feeling fantastic after that kind of a finish. Not only just trying hard here in the league, but able to go out there against everybody else in the world and come away with a 6th place finish. So not bad. Calvin Ballmer looking to continue his strides forward and his momentum as he's gained 3 here on the night, up to 12th, and looking to see if he can find Justin Bland. But Bland scurrying away, trying to see if he can stay way out in front of him in the 99 machine.
Yeah, looking good. I'm kind of digging that AOL logo on the back. I seem to be one of the few still have an AOL email. So not to date myself or anything, but they are still running strong.
Yep. This is definitely right, as dial-up was still out, is where AOL was. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember the old CDs for AOL? Like a certain amount of minutes that you could use?
They would send them in the mail, and people would make all kinds of decorations out of them because you were just inundated.
Right. That's pretty wicked. All right, Stella, let's take a look at some of our laps. Is actually slowing down the pace here a little bit. We are sitting about 24 and a half seconds here that we have 17 laps into the race. Right now, Vincent Arthur is hitting right about on stride. Some of these guys were saying are right about that 19 to 24 lap mark. These guys should be scrubbing the high 24 for the fall off of the tires. So they're going to be kind of holding their breath here, whether it's going to survive. Look at the 45 of Brian Jones down there on the paint. Boy, right now Brian Jones is trying to find an angle here. He's setting up the 22 of Cody Smith. Hopefully Smith does see him there, as he is taking a dive again. Looking back here from Cody Smith's number 22. Caterpillar machine is going to be looking back. Home field taking a shot here to the inside. No can do. Dalton Tucker sitting in the wings out back there, trying to find a less aggressive groove to kind of set his car up for a pit stop when it does come time. There we go, 45 taking a look. He's got an angle here to the side. Turn exit speed is going to go to Smith, and we continue, as right now these two drivers have been kind of duking it out there for just a little bit. But I do want to find a driver who might be chasing somebody down right now is Brady Moats. Moats has actually been running away from Justin Bland, but he has been following Al Likens like a magnet here, trying to keep up with him and trying to see if he's got anything for him, sitting out there in the number 1 snap-on machine.
Yeah, they're looking good. They are racing without rubbing, which is a good thing to do here.
Yeah, great job here by Brady Motes. It does look like he's figured out where the front nose of that car can go, because he was nearly inches there from giving a touch there to the Kodak Dodge out there right now, driven by Al Likens in the number 77. Currently sitting in ninth. Likens has fought up 4 positions here so far. And let's check back in on Ed Adams. Ed Adams, he has got nobody around him. About a second before he can find James Hudson, and that is Nick Geilis here in the 97 Sharpie. Right now, Geilis is up 4. The only person to move big time here tonight is going to go to the driver directly behind him, about another second back in the target. Dodge, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he should be in an Intrepid out there. Right now, that is Brian Powell out there in the 41 target machine. He is up 10 here on the night. Not bad for starting dead last. He's already chopped through a good chunk of the field.
Yeah, that's saying something. I mean, they are kind of spread out, but with everybody being able to race on this fixed setup, pretty much the same. Moving up that far is saying something good.
Yep. Little check up here. Looks like Chris Snyder is heading down into pit road, looking to see if there is any damage to the side of his car. Might have a little something here on the right side. Notice where the 48 is. We've got a huge scuff. Not looking good there. Chris Snyder's going to be fighting some damage. Already a minute down there in the pit box, so that may scrub his night. Now, Stella, we still continue to watch here with Brian Jones out in front, sitting here in that 4th spot. Notice how Dalton Tucker, he's trying to find a groove to see if he can find just a little more speed or some fresh air. He's going to aim right here. Down to the inside. Dalton Tucker, this is the battle for 4th position. Right now, awesome job here as they are watching it as we take a look back off Cody Smith's machine once again. I think Brian Jones may have been able to fight him off. Dalton Tucker drops back down to 5th, calming that 42 Haviland machine down. He's going to go back at him again. I don't think that fight is over yet. But even from sitting at Cody Smith's car, we look 2 seconds out and we'll find Vincent Arthur's a hard dive there by the 45 machine. Whoa, nice and close.
Not this time.
Got 28 laps into this one. Everybody feeling pretty good here as these tires and track are starting to settle in. The 40 machine having a diamond in his turn a little bit as he gets out of shape. Cody Smith has to check up. Cody Smith now to the inside. Smith to the outside, excuse me, and it looks like Brian Jones diving here to the inside. Caterpillar machine gets a little bit loose, so does Dalton Tucker as he goes up and just almost taps the edge of the wall here. Take a look, kind of hanging off the side of his car like Spider-Man here, looking forward at Cody Smith and Brian Jones going at it as we ride here with Dalton Tucker. Like I said, Dalton, with the amount of practice time that he had out here, he was feeling pretty confident. And right now, his line and the way he is racing proves the exact same. Doing just
I'm
that.
Impressed. Cody Smith held on to that after having a checkup, and Brian Jones just swooped in on the inside line. But Cody Smith has managed to maintain that 3rd position. Brian Jones 4th. Dalton Tucker still in 5th.
Yeah, we got a couple of drivers who were ended up falling way off the pace here. Al Likens just dropped down about 3 positions, and I believe Eric Essary is doing the exact same. He is falling way backwards now, unfortunately down to 10th, but his times are reflecting that. 25.5 seconds. That is about a half second slower than everybody else out here on the field. So I don't know if he's starting to really feel that tire wear, seeing that we've come into lap 31. Everybody's getting real nervous here. But, Stella, I would say fuel is going to make it here, but when? When are the tires, and when is enough?
When you can't keep yourself off the wall?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty tough. Right now, everybody listed as a Chevrolet out there. As currently, some of these car makes and models were not guaranteed or paid for by iRacing. So you'll see some of these guys out there in a Chevy or in a Dodge sitting there fighting out there on the track. So the Ford Taurus is what we'll be seeing, and the Dodge Intrepid by a few drivers. The 41 machine being one of them. And I believe Mike Moultrie, our second-place driver, is heading on down into pit road.
Yes.
So the Coors Light machine heading in. And a driver, there he is, Jacob Lee. He's still out there. Just getting around him. As right now, I think he is holding about a 20-second gap over top of Vincent Arthur. So he is about 5 seconds from going a lap down here. Right now, he's got to hurry up and stay out front and try to get there.
Second taker into pit road is Josh Conover.
Yep, Conover coming on down. Looks like the Budweiser machine's had enough. Gets nice and close to that wall to avoid any sort of penalties out there.
Vincent Arthur got the memo.
Yep.
In he comes.
Yeah, does not want to wait any longer. I don't blame him. Waiting to see if Cody Smith is going to join him, though. As Cody Smith and watching Dalton Tucker and Brian Jones still going at it here. And the 48 machine, high line there, and that's going to be Chris Snyder. Remember, he came down 4 tires, and that is going to definitely prove to work out for him as he's going to try to fight back some of these laps. Now, Snyder ended up with some damage out there, so I think he's got a tall hill to climb, but he'll be fighting it. Tucker in the lead here, chasing. I expect to see Tucker out here for probably 3 laps longer than everybody else. That would be what I would expect, but I think he's going to start watching his times and realize that 25.5 seconds when our guys are coming out and starting to run back in the 24s and late 23s, that he will be losing a second and a half a lap. Can he make that distance up if he doesn't pit? Decides not to. Looks like the crew chief's got his hands up in the air about what that call may have been, but that is not going to not going exactly the crew chief's way, and they're going to get back to it here as Dalton Tucker pulls down on into pit.
Keeping him company is Brian Powell. Cody Smith, Brian Jones also came in, keeping their nose to tail situation at hand. They'll be coming back out and resuming their wild and crazy back and forth racing. Woo! Here comes Net Zero.
Yep, Nick Pressey, he's working his way on in with Justin Bland directly in front. Those two have been kind of following each other here most of the night. I think he doesn't want to take away from that. Kevin Ballmer up to 4th now. So this is going to put Moats, Essary, Likens, Ballmer, and Hudson. Stella, am I saying that right? Essary?
Sorry.
Essary? Essary. All right, I'm going to try about 50 more times and we'll get it. As joining us in the NSR series will be Eric Essary. You'll find him out there on Saturdays. So Al Likens and Cody Height working their way on down. Stella, we've started to get our slew of pit stops here. The last 5 drivers currently sitting in 1 through 5. Brady Moats coming on down. Ballmer, Hutton. All right, and Jacob Gladelick. Boy, Gladelick doing a good clip on the way in.
Yeah, I think Hudson is the only one that's still in the place he started, still in 4th where he began this race. Everyone else has managed to shuffle up.
Yep, we take a look here at Jacob Gladelick. Looks like maybe a little damage here to the right front. We'll see if he has his crew pull that off the tire. And definitely want to get back out there and in a good shape. Essary in. That's going to put Vincent Arthur back in the chase to get back in the lead. That should be a chip shot for him, though. Right now, Essary still hasn't even entered the box. Yep, here we go. Right now, Essary still just entered the box. Wow. Yeah, well, pit road, definitely tough.
Oh.
38 into the wall.
Darrell Johnson, that was a hard hit.
Yeah. Holy cow. Goes ahead and force feeds the car to the track.
Yeah, Singular took a dive to the bottom. Any idea why there?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Take it to the bottom. Some smoke coming off. Yep, we got a couple of guys, and this is exactly what starts to happen. Track starts to rubber up, and now guys are starting to really test it because now everybody's starting to play chase.
I think that was coming out of the pits, actually.
Yep. Guys trying to get up to speed. There's another one there. So we got a couple of guys that are skidding around. Al Likens back down pit road.
Uh-oh.
Not looking good here, as it looks like Al Likens will be serving a drive-through penalty.
Fair enough.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we've got somebody loving what they're seeing, though, out there. Natalia Ramos. And BPay has their rally cap on.
That might need to put on another, though. What has happened to the 77 here?
Again?
Yes. Al Likens resuming back down pit road again.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I bet you he is too. Right now, I guarantee you he's screaming inside that helmet. What in the world is going on here?
Now, I wonder what would happen if you came down to do a drive-through and you sped. Would you have to do a drive-through again?
I would question. I would wonder if that would be the case.
But we have a caution.
So will it count?
Oh, my goodness.
All right, AOL machine.
Oh,
Looks like that speed wasn't enough. Gets mashed up here.
it does.
That's him working his way around. Josh Conover's currently sitting in the 6th position. See if that 30 machine ends up having to come back down. Checking back out there. Tires rotating all in the same direction. That's always good. But
Yep.
what's not good
Little
is here.
reconfiguration.
Yeah, that
on
front nose.
Front end.
That front nose has been mangled.
Yeah, there's the singular car I was talking about. He dove down underneath the yellow line. I don't know if he anticipated 38 coming off the wall toward him or something, but he doesn't seem any worse for the wear on that.
All right. Pit road starting to heat up again with a couple of extra drivers. What happens to the 30? Oh, hit the bump wrong. Oh, hold it.
Zip.
That's around our
Vince-
leader. The 88
oh.
clips him.
Oh, Vince Arthur was happy about that avoidance, but James Hudson had no choice. Nicked him in the corner.
Now let's take a look and see what Hudson sees. All right, we got smoke. Out of control. Back up the track. Vincent Arthur, can't believe it. Oh, boom.
Ah. Yikes.
Oh, that doesn't look good. See how hard he's steering to the right and we're not moving.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, Hudson's going to be heading into pit here.
I don't see anything hateful.
Right there.
Little
See how
wheel.
cocked the wheel is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Huh.
in bad shape. So as we take a look at James Hudson there, he is currently sitting down in pit road. Really hating life right now. Jacob Lee joining back down into pit road, probably fixing some of that damage. Al Likens coming on down. Looks like he almost misses the pit box, but his team's going to be able to scramble and get out there.
Yeah, he's good.
Still, some of these guys are getting having to hustle up, get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, Jacob Gladelick, they're all going past him.
Yep.
He wasn't a lap down.
No, we should be starting single file. Lapped cars would be on the inside line.
Okay.
So the 31 will be a lap down. Everyone else starts on the straightaway here. Look at the 38. Yeah, he's got to slow down to pace speed. I would wonder if that's going to be a problem out there. Darrell Johnson. Hopefully it is not. Lapped car heading way back. Moultrie able to run away with this one. Now remember, Vincent Arthur, I said a couple of guys decided to come down pit road. The 24 was one of them. Looks like he came down for 4 tires. Oh, dog, the 38 is around.
Oh, wow.
Second caution here of the night. Daryl Johnson almost, I can't tell, I don't think he got turned here. Nope, just broke loose.
Boy, and again, Vincent Arthur in the right place, manages to get past at the right time.
Holy cow. I gotta see, watch the 45 floss this one. Gets sideways, clips him here. Ugh. And the C's part. Look out. Yeah, sometimes you just have to come back and believe the guy in front of you is going to do the right thing.
Boy, he definitely rearranged that front end.
Yep. Daryl Johnson will be coming down to unmangle that car. See if he can fix it. Right now, I think this will be his third visit down pit road. Cody Height as well. Remember Cody Height, he was the second driver who clipped him. Right after Vincent Arthur had sent him the rest of the way around. Dylan Picklesheimer, he's working his way back out to see if he can do something a little bit different here tonight. He has been unfortunately battling from the back here of the field. Seeing if he can get back
the field,
up there.
Number 48, Chris Snyder, I do believe, may have taken it back to the garage.
Yes. I'm showing, I think, just before lap number 30, I think they had determined that thing was not recoverable. Kevin Baumler. Extended amount of time. I am not seeing him in the infield car care center, so we're going to assume that he is going to return back to the track a little bit later on here tonight. Should be Jacob Lee. He'll be fighting his way up to the front now. As lap cars will get inside line. I believe he should be tucking in behind Cody Height, who's trying to hurry up. Ton of damage here on the front and that left front.
Yeah, see, that's what I noticed about the last restart. If they were supposed to be all people on the lead lap on the outside lane, all people a lap down on the inside lane, only one person, 1.5, we had one about 5 car lengths back in the second place of the inside line. We had at least 6 people that were a lap down. Where were all the rest of them? They should have been in that second line.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of them having to play catch-up out there.
Ah.
So showing Sam Taylor in the front of the outside line. Currently sitting in that 22nd spot. We'll get this back underway, back under green here. Daryl Johnson doesn't seem any worse for the wear. Everything's good to go on his car.
Oh, take a look at the back.
Okay, well, I was looking at the nose of that car. It was smushed up pretty bad to begin with.
Maybe it's the paint job, but it looks like he's kind of been kicked up the right rear. But if that's all he got out of that, he's in good shape.
Yep. I'll take a look at this. This is Tay McDonald here on the outside. Remember, I think he had some questionable move that was made out there at Daytona. And I think it's his second duel. Holy cow, right now he is in a hot spot here. Tay McDonald on the outside. Sitting currently in the 7th position. That's 18 on the night. Right now we're seeing a lot of what we saw at Daytona is almost the field flipping out there. As Tay McDonald's going ahead and letting them on by. Last time he pit was back on lap 38. We've almost got 20 lap old tires. Dalton Tucker looking to the inside. As right now I think Tay McDonald is trying to save a set of tires here for late in the run. I don't really sweat watching him march back. He's got something in mind. But we'll see how that works out. As Moultrie leads the race, out in front by almost a second over top of Brady Moats, who's currently sitting in second, and Matthew George, who hangs out in third. Now, Matthew George, a pretty quiet driver out there running a Brian Vickers machine. Right now is watching Vincent Arthur go ahead and almost scoop up the rear of his car. Vincent Arthur, who took tires back on lap 47, a lot fresher than most of the guys up front here. I believe actually fresher than anybody in the top 5. And Vincent Arthur is going to be charging up front to catch Brady Moats. He's only got less than a second to find him, but 2 seconds to find Moultrie.
Yeah, and Moultrie's on old tires, like you were saying. He didn't come down since lap 32. But wow, Matthew George took a chunk out of that outside wall, and he's losing some of those places he gained.
Yeah, doesn't take much here at the Rock. Just I would almost swear it's the angle of these walls. It just comes up, and when you make a touch, it's not a nudge and keep rolling on. It's you hit it, it hooks you, and then it just grinds the car down into pieces. As we can see right now, Ditech.com. Isn't that what you used to refinance your house?
I do not know.
I bet you. I would bet the broadcast on it. Yep, Ditech.com. Yep, I remember those commercials. All right, Josh Conover gets around Matthew George here. And what did you see? I see something happening here.
Josh Conover was fishing that pail back and forth, but held on to it in that number 8 car.
Yeah. Right now, I saw a white car getting sideways out there. As well as we continue to have more trouble here through the rest. Nick Pressey. Pressey's getting in some trouble. Right now, he's on the roll backwards. Allows McDonald and Gillis to get around him. Gillis out there in the 97 Irwin machine. Right now, he's still seeing if he can hold on, though. Oof, into the wall.
Yeah. This is wild because, I mean, we were looking at Pressey and Likens in the Daytona race holding the poles. So, for them to come here, and it's just kind of eating them up.
Yes. Well, I would say if you consider the year that this cup races were won, I don't believe Jimmy Johnson really won anything until much later in the season. Jimmy Johnson, actually, his first race was somewhere March 21st. He ended up getting a Coca-Cola win and a couple others, but at the end, in October, he ended up winning 3 races here. So when we kind of weigh our options, what you're saying here, I always say, yes, our drivers may have their strong suit, but maybe this one isn't it. Some of these guys may be falling back just a hair, and they're going to be playing chase. But, yeah, I mean, I see 100% what you're saying, but I think it's time for these other guys to shine, as Pressey's currently holding back here in 13th. And he's going to be having a hard time getting up there, and Al Likens currently, I believe, down 2 laps, sitting 21st. Yeah, definitely not his night here. As it looked like he had to serve more than one drive-through, which was crazy. I was wondering, like you were saying, if he had sped coming down into pit. So Vincent Arthur already chopping by Brady Moats and Brian Jones. This is him coming right up on Mike Moultrie here. Moultrie thinking this might be a chip shot here for Vincent Arthur. Give him a quick little block. There we go. Get that Monte Carlo right in there. Vincent Arthur's figured out that front end's damaged.
Some people, yes.
Well, that was the contact made with Darrell Johnson back on lap 49.
Ah.
Yeah, taking a look right out of the left side of his wind visor there. He's going to see the 24 of Vincent Arthur go ahead and make it up. Ooh, yeah, good little nudge to him there. Ooh, another nudge, sending him into 1. That's going to send Vincent Arthur a little bit higher right now. Moultrie, I think he feels like he got cut off there, but that's going to be a moot point. Right now, Vincent Arthur with a better set of tires, 15 laps fresher. And Brian Jones is going to join along with Vincent Arthur as they go ahead and fight on by. And Moultrie drops down to 3rd. So lap number 69 is underway here at the Subway 240 at Rockingham. Stella right now, pretty decent race here so far. A couple of cautions here and there, but that was, like I said, I was telling everybody even out here watching, this is to be expected. We got a couple of guys out here who are going to be really battling their cars, trying to see if they can hang on. Let's roll back here to this gaggle of cars and talk to me about this. Or Brady Moats is right now watching that 32 machine of Essery trying to catch up.
Yeah, they are nice and tight. I mean, within the 10th. I'm sorry. I thought I saw somebody fall off the trail there. We're looking, yeah, if its tires are the issue, Mike Moultrie may not be holding even third place for very long because Dalton Tucker and Josh Conover are sitting on lap 47 tires, the same as our 1 and 2 place drivers. So he's probably hoping for another caution.
Well, even if another caution doesn't come out, and Moultrie does have to come down 4 tires, he is definitely taking a different pit strategy than everybody else. It could work. Who knows? It could prove to be the right call all the way at the end of the race. But 236 laps, getting number 72 underway. Stella, we got a long way to go here for Moultrie to make a mistake.
But we also have 10 sets of tires for this race tonight. So it's not like they're trying to, strategize too much as far as, oh, I got to make, 236 laps with 4 sets of tires. Ooh, somebody just came down.
All right, the driver from Fresno, California, working his way down pit road now. Good call. Right now might be the time. Currently, Ed Adams, last driver here on the lead lap. Now going to slide up into the 18th position. Right now, that 21 Motorcraft car. Kind of all out there by his lonesome. Looking to see if anybody out there is able to touch him. I think right now Ed Adams is currently sitting almost 7 seconds off finding Cody Hyde out there. And Hyde's dealing with a boatload of damage there on the left front. So we'll see if that ends up coming back to bite him. Do appreciate everybody who's tuned in out here to SimTraX Broadcasting. We bring you the Nora Gen 4 Cup Series here tonight for the Subway 240 at Rockingham, normally known as the North Carolina Speedway. You guys have been doing an awesome job out here. Stella's already told us a little bit about they used to grease this track up, which I think is insane. I think if you greased maybe the bottom half, it might change it up. But that I don't know if I would agree with doing that to some expensive cars, but I guess it is what it is. Anything to put butts in the seats. So let's keep going. Tyler DeTalon out there is rooting on the Fast House boys. Out there in the chat. Tyler DeTalon, Stella, fairly certain, was our winner of the Daytona 500.
He was. Tyler DeTalon, followed by Eric Essery.
Right. Definitely going to keep an eye on as more drivers trickle into this league as we continue moving on.
And another trickles out. Kevin Baumler has taken it back to the garage.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Just couldn't keep going. He was up to 10 minutes.
Leaves us with 24 drivers still rolling. James Hudson has managed to get back out there after his repairs.
That's one thing you also got to keep in mind is guys who end up getting totaled out early in this race. It is almost impossible to return. Ballmer came in on lap number 47. We are currently on 77, about 79 here. These guys are going around. There's no way of him making up 30 laps or so. And that was not even guaranteeing that he was going to make it back on the track at that time. You know, he may still have another 10 to 20 minutes possibly of some damage repair. And that was going to end up doing him for his night. So we'll keep an eye out there. I don't see anybody in the infield car care center that may be able to see if we need any help out of these guys.
There's Matthew George coming back out of pits. I'm glad to see he got his 35 tires replaced.
As they change it up here a little bit, these pit strategies, a lot of things are changing. Stella, if we break it down mathematically wise, 10 sets of tires down there, 236 laps. I mean, you could stretch it if you want to 30 laps for a set of tires.
Okay.
So I guess, I mean, if you really wanted to, I mean, I guess you could come down every 25 laps and take tires.
Yep.
And and still have some extra left over. So I think a lot of guys are finding that there is a positive coming down and taking tires offset than everybody else. Because Vincent Arthur figured that out. Only driver to get even semi-close is going to be Essery, who came down on lap number 41. And we've got a driver sideways out there, Blake Hoppy.
Has he done it only on his own?
Yes. Looks like
no
he broke loose out of 2. And we may see him heading into pit road here pretty soon.
Out of 2. Well, that's interesting, because I was just reading about the fact that Darrell Waltrip, he says the second turn is just crazy. Coming off a 2 has always been bad because the car always gets hopping around on you. I was reading that article with the Bear Grease.
Yeah.
He didn't even want to drive on the track. So, yeah, it is crazy. Says you'll definitely have to be cautious and careful, says Yarborough. Yeah, I hope the speeds pick up during the race, because that'll mean the track's getting in better shape. But it's wild to see some of the interviews regarding slicking up the track.
All right, so we do look back there at the spin out done by himself for Blake Hoppy. Hoppy going to be back on his heels now, as that one did not work out very well for him. Hoppy now drops down to the 21st position. As Hoppy does come down into pit on lap 76. That's the last time we saw him coming on down. Vincent Arthur, our leader, heading down.
A lot of other ones are coming down at the same time. They saw an opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I would question right now if the 24 machine tries to pull that dent out of the front. It doesn't seem to be costing them any time out there. But as they go ahead and sling a set of tires on that car, and we'll see if this is going to work out for Vincent Arthur, he decides no.
Yeah, at this point on a green flag, would you do modifications like that on a green flag pit stop?
I don't know. Right now, he was out leading by almost 3 seconds. So if anything, take a couple, have a guy give a good tug on it. Because last thing I would want to do is have any kind of an overheat issue, laughing when you're in the front. So, I mean, maybe the next caution, if it ends up being everybody comes down, I would probably fix some of that damage to try to lessen what the possibility of more damage happening later on. Presley working his way on down. It should give Moultrie back the lead. But he's got to wrap all the way around here. Right now, I believe he is currently 7 seconds out in front of Vincent Arthur. But Arthur's going to be trying to run him down. Moultrie will have a little bit of an advantage out there. So he goes ahead and takes over the lead here on lap number 90.
But again, with a deficit on those tires.
Yes. Yeah, lap number 72 is when he took tires. And once again, 15 laps fresher are going to be Vincent Arthur. Now, Vincent Arthur does have to tear up those tires and run him down. I would say you wouldn't think Vincent Arthur would be
in a rush to do that?
Right. Spending that much time to run him down, he'll almost sink himself here. But seeing that right now, looking at our last lap times, Moultrie and Vincent Arthur are running about a half a second apart. Vincent Arthur to the faster end of it.
Yeah, I think he can feel free to kind of just take his time to roll in, because I'm looking at Brian Jones is still a second and a half behind him. So it's not like Vincent Arthur's being challenged at the moment. And at a half a second faster, it won't take very long to make up that 5 second gap.
Yep. We keep seesawing back and forth here with who is doing the lead changes out there. We have been green for a decent amount of time here. Last caution we had was back on lap number 49. A little spin out we saw there from Hoppy. that ended up bringing
Johnson.
him down into pit road, but no issue.
Yeah, the lap 49 slant 50 was Johnson, Daryl Johnson, 38.
Right, right. Yeah, Daryl Johnson was the 49. The only thing close to a possible caution we may have seen out there that may have brought out a caution flag would have been Hoppy much later on.
Right. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I believe
Sorry,
that was lap
had me confused.
71. No, it may have been lap 71. I think we saw that.
Sounds good.
And guys are now starting to pit and work their way back on in. So pit stops have all gone through so far. And drivers are shuffling up, but not too many. Mike Moultrie, Vincent Arthur, Brian Jones, Dalton Tucker, and Josh Conover holding 1 through 5. Justin Bland, Brady Moat sits 7th. Matthew George is 8th. Eric Essery sits in 9th. And Dylan Picklesheimer goes ahead and conquers and takes over the 10th position.
And our Chargers tonight so far, up 14 places.
Yep. Jacob Gladelick is 11th, moving on to Tay McDonald, who seems to be blinking out here and there. Hopefully the 06 does calm down a little bit. Nick Cressy battles for 12th as Gladelick drops down to 13th. Guylis sits 14th, Blake Hoppy 15th, Ed Adams and Brian Powell, the last of our lead lap drivers. Moving on to our guys who are going to be chasing to get back on to the lead lap. Cody Height, Jacob Lee, Al Likens, Sam Taylor, and I believe Cody Smith has retired for the night, so Daryl Johnson out there has just passed him for that 22nd position, and it's leaving our 3 guys who have taken it back to the garage. Cody Smith, James Hudson, Kevin Ballmer, and Chris Snyder. Excuse me, that would make 4 drivers down to the garage, so tough night for those gentlemen. We'll see how they do in the next round. Josh Conover doing some blinking out there as he looks like he drops off the table a little bit. Now I'm wondering if he was sliding coming out of that last turn. As we see him look like he's fighting out of the infield. Right now, Conover just trying to hang on to it here, but just a little over a half a second behind him sits Bland in the 99 machine. Yeah, you may be thinking maybe that 21 out there. That is actually Ed Adams, who is currently playing chase out there on the outside line. He's currently sitting 16th here. Tough night for all of our drivers out there. Just trying to stay ahead of the curve as the amount of speed that Moultrie and Vincent Arthur are able to do. I would question here, Stella, who has the winning strategy here. If we can take this green to the end, Mike Moultrie, currently that 7-second lead, has been scrubbed. Vincent Arthur now starting to apply some pressure.
Oh, yeah. It didn't take long. Yeah, he's there sniffing the exhaust off of Moultrie's car and is going to change that to check out my tailpipe.
Yep. Easy pass there by Vincent Arthur, but that's to be expected with 15-lap pressure tires here. Moultrie now in the 40 machine we just saw as we passed him. Woo! Little wiggle there from Vincent Arthur as he is continuing to apply pressure. Continuing to apply pressure, that is to the track, and see if he can get some distance here on Mike Moultrie, who's currently sitting in second. Brian Jones is running third, but I believe he as well will be moving up another position here. Right now the 45 machine is going to be looking here to the inside through turn 1 and 2, and I think he's going to try to dive underneath Mike Moultrie here to see if he can get a quick pass. Yes, he does. There he is to the inside. Right now, the Dodge Intrepid out there of Mike Moultrie going to go ahead and watch another vehicle get around him. And Moultrie will have to pit soon. He's out there on tires that have been 31 laps old. So it's almost time. I expect Moultrie to come in on probably the next 5 laps or so to keep this competitive out there and get some speed back onto the track.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to do that offset pitting. If it works out that he keeps doing this and we get to the very, very end, he's either going to be 15 laps slower with tires, or he's going to be 15 laps fresher tires. That's a heck of a gamble.
Right. Well, it's having the seesaw factor out there of when this race ends, where does that land him? You
Right.
know, as soon as a caution comes out, it could scrub everything. But is Moultrie timing this all the way to the end? That if it were to go this way, he's going to be able to sneak this out and laugh his way to a win. So Moultrie coming on down as expected within 5 laps. Lap 105, he decides to come on in the pit road, get 4 tires, and get back out there with a full tank of fuel and go back at it. Vincent Arthur will be looking to put him a lap down, but teaming him up with Blake Hoppy and Ed Adams out there. And notice how nobody else except Moultrie is the driver coming down pit road.
Yes. Now, normally you would hear us say, oh, don't ever come down alone. You need to. This is a short track. You can come down if, when, and whenever. You're not subjected to that draft situation of where you're lost out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And only being just, I think, a hair over a 1 mile track. It's still considered a short track, so they're still going to be battling to get back out there and try to get going. Moultrie now down to the 17th position. And we'll see if he can start knocking some of these times down. Really, only about 2 handfuls of cars have been able to break into the 23-second mark of their best time out here on the track. He ran a 23:88 was his best time out here. And a lot of guys have been pedaling, trying to see if they can come up with that kind of speed. I believe, Stella, correct me if I'm wrong, our best time out there on the track, I believe, is a 23:82, held by Brian Jones, who's currently sitting in second.
That is correct. 23.823.
That's a blazing speed out there. All right. We'll kind of hold our breath here as a pit stop should be heating up in the next 10 laps or so. Some guys have been trying to team up and pit or wait longer to pit. As remember, our first pit stops ended up, yes, being on time, but then they started separating later on and guys taking different strategies. So that is definitely what we're seeing now, is the strategy still continuing to try to play out here, if they are going to make it or not. And can they do any more to lengthen the amount of time or to conserve these tires just a little bit better? Right now, Dalton Tucker would be one of those guys that I would circle out there.
Currently sitting in third.
Right now, Dalton Tucker holding on to third. That gives him 5 positions gained from his original qualifying spot, where he sat in third. Well, excuse me, where he sat in 8th. And now he is currently running in third. Wow, little nudge here. I don't know if any contact was made here with the 45. Right now, Tucker on the charge.
And Hoppy getting a new set of tires.
Yeah, let's see if we can take a look here. I want to know if any contact was made.
I can't tell from that angle, but it looked pretty good.
Yeah, it looked like something may have happened here. I'm trying to see if I can see. I think that one may be as close as we're going to get. Nope, I don't think there was any contact. Looks like he stayed off of him. Just the 45, a little loose.
Just took the air off him?
Yep.
Wow.
Just enough to loosen him up and get on around. So Dalton Tucker now up to second. Great job so far by all these guys. Right now, Stella, correct me if I'm wrong here, Jacob Gladelick, I think, is our last driver here on the lead lap.
I'm looking, Moultrie is in 16th, still in the lead lap. Matthew George, Ed Adams, Brian Powell.
No, Moultrie's still showing a lap down.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
I believe Gladelick looking at about a 20-second gap.
Matthew George, 21. Ah. Interesting. He's playing a little bit of havoc with us tonight. So Powell's 37 seconds behind Ed Adams, 37.8, and Mike Moultrie 40 seconds behind, so that would put him a lap down.
Yep. You're taking a look at Matthew George here. Trying to see if he can catch up to the 97 here of Nick Gillis.
Who went off track a little while ago, but good to see he's still rolling.
Yeah, a couple of guys have been sliding around out here. We take a look at our track. They're everywhere. Right now, this is the positions, not the car number. The number one machine getting ready to come across that line. As Tay McDonald, who's currently sitting 13th, is heading on down into pit road.
Ah.
Yeah, these guys have been going at it for a while. That's Essery. Only sitting in 8th. Let's see if he can get around Presky, who's sitting 7th.
Moultrie wants in.
Well, Moultrie's probably upset. Fresher tires and he can't get around.
Yeah.
Right now, this is holding him up. This is what we call in the racer world, burning my stuff up. He's getting pretty annoyed. So he's not only going to get one, he's going to get 2 positions as he slides on around. Nope.
And the 0 car takes a piece of the wall.
Yeah, well, he was trying to ride high, and that thing was just not going to hold on. Moultrie continues charging up to the front to see if he can make up some sort of distance here. Jacob Gladelick working his way on down. Vincent Arthur still remains out there. Last time this guy came in was lap number 86. He's getting pretty close to that pit window. Right now out leading by 1.3 seconds. He's going to be definitely biding his time, though. Just taking it nice and easy and just going ahead and racing this race the way he wants to. Fresh air all out front, all to himself. As Dalton Tucker still playing chase, though. Looks like he just got around the number 12 there of Sam Taylor. Taylor with some damage to the left front of his machine. Continue through. Right now, Sam Taylor did come in and pit on lap number 87 as well, so he should be on the same tire strategy that Dalton Tucker is. Wow, Nick Gillis. Holy cow, looked like something let go. Slings him up the track and into the wall. Lap number 84 is the last time we saw him with tires. And somebody's getting new ones. Vincent Arthur. Josh Conover working their way on down. So is the number 15 out there of Cody Height.
I think we have a wholesale charge into pit road right now.
Yeah, especially for Hendrick Motorsports. Every driver from there is working their way on down. I don't know if they know something's going on or if they kind of thrown in the towel, waiting for a caution out there, assuming somebody was going to be able to, somebody was going to end up spinning around and possibly bringing that yellow flag out. That way they can hopefully get some sort of this damage repaired.
Got some missed pit stalls here.
Yep, Vincent Arthur working his way out of pit. Looks to be untouched here. 15-15 in the box. A little slow there by the Rainbow Warriors.
But let's see if he got that front end fixed.
No, he did not.
Oh. Huh. Looks a little better.
Yeah, it is a little better, but it's not complete. You still bend up down around that bottom.
Yeah, but before it was almost like a V in there.
Yep.
Took a couple seconds.
Yeah, it looks like as soon as the right front tire guy, not the one with the gun, was able to run around and kind of pull it out on his way by. Stick his hand in there and pull forward, so at least able to get a little something.
All right, well, Dylan Picklesheimer comes down, so that puts Moultrie back in the lead, followed by Vince Arthur again. And again, he is not very far behind him.
No. Well, this is why Moultrie would probably be throwing things out the window at those two drivers that ended up holding him up. Pressy out there, he was fighting around in the 32 machine of Esri. He wanted to get around, and it held him up for at least a second and a half, because you saw he was having to fight him around about 3 or 4 turns before they rotated to the top, and he shot around him. So that has cost him any kind of additional lead he could have had.
Yeah, last time he came out, the two of them were about 7 seconds apart. This time, 4 seconds apart. That Vincent Arthur's having to chase him down.
Yep. Yeah, I think it was about 5 1/4 before he took the lead, and we saw the driver coming on down. So that is going to change it up a little bit here. Al Lyken's coming on down. All right, now chasing Jacob Lee there. Whoop. Now, a lot of guys are getting used to the pit strategies and the way the rules do state here. You can drive in 3 stalls and out 3 stalls, but no more. Some guys were in violation of that during Daytona and during the duels. Those were given as warnings, but as soon as we got to Daytona, that is no longer a warning. So some of these guys do have to fight their way back and have to be very, very careful and practice their pit stops, because they want them in and out of pit road. Now, Stella, a tough rule that is called here, and the National Oval Racing Association is entering into pit road too wide.
Wide?
Not like too double file.
Oh.
You have to be to the outside of pit lane, but to me, I've seen guys get beat on the pit road by slinging past 4 people and entering pit road at speed but not over speed, and being able to slice to the inside and being able to fight their way up. But it almost seems you have to single file your way in.
Huh, interesting.
Right, so
I'd have to watch that when we have a big gaggle of them.
Yep. Yeah, seeing how spread we are apart here at Rockingham, I would probably say that wouldn't be the case. I think if we had a solid chunk of 10 cars that came in all at once, that would be something we would probably see.
So Dalton Tucker just overtook Brian Jones, but the two of them have been going back and forth here pretty steadily.
Yep.
We might finally have some separation.
Yeah, Dalton Tucker getting 3 laps newer tires here. Moultrie has already been taken over by Vincent Arthur. Yeah, I think this time was even worse. Moultrie came down on 105. 19 laps newer. Vincent Arthur at 124.
So rather than 15, now we have 19 laps now.
Right. So right now, Vincent Arthur is trying to separate that gap a little bit. And something tells me Vincent Arthur has a timer out there. He looks to see how much on that car his fall off is, and as soon as he hits that number, he brings it on in. So he may have been doing some tire savings while he was out front for the time being, and he didn't need to keep going. He was able to take care of the car and then be able to slowly get around the track and do a heck of a lot better. Also, seeing that some of that damage here is fixed on that nose, this may assist him later on here in the race, seeing that he will not be having to fight as hard to get through this air.
Especially being out front, I would think that would make a difference more than if you're right up behind somebody in the rear.
Right. Yep, just like a goose flying in a V pattern here. We definitely want to make sure we are pointy in the front. The way we can try to separate that air. You're shaped more like a brick. You're not going to be, it's not going to help you at all. So Vincent Arthur still doing an awesome job out here.
Ruffling some feathers.
Yeah, Dalton Tucker, Brian Jones. Moultrie now down to 4th. Conover will be next, and Moultrie coming down.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say this would be a little bit of strategy here for Moultrie, trying to see if he can retime back into everybody's pit strategy here.
Yeah, because this is definitely not as long as he usually goes.
No, we're short pitting this time.
So what has happened with Mr. Jacob Lee? He's been getting some repairs done?
Yes, for the last 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep. So
How's
he
he
has been
looking
dealing with
there?
some issues out there on the track. Car looks pretty straight, though. So I don't know if he's going to be returning back to the track here momentarily and get back out there.
All right.
Moultrie down to 12th, 13th. Got to hurry up. Hoppy will be next on the list to get around him here. Right now, we've got a huge chunk of cars down some laps here. And that's one of those things. You do not want to offset pit at all. I would say if you do, you want to do it by 1 or 2 laps, not by 10. And Moultrie, this may not be working out for him. 13th is where he settles into. 4 tires and fuel for the 40 machine.
And not when it's showing what? Just our top 10 are the only ones on the lead lap?
Currently, yes.
Oof.
Yeah, somehow Tay McDonald able just to squeak out of there and stay out front. Take a look back. Yeah, this is Moultrie catching up. You need to see what fresher tires will do. Tay McDonald last time took tires on 117.
Glad I like that he just passed, what he's coming up on is only lap 120 are his tires, so there's definitely an adjustment to be made.
Yeah, right now I would say Vincent Arthur has never been this close to being under fire here until Dalton Tucker has shown up to fight. Right now, 0.3 of a second off. He's going ahead and sucking up that draft off the 24 Chevy in front of him. Trying to run him down. And he's breaking under the 0.3. So right now, turn 3 and 4 seems to be where Vincent Arthur is failing. Dalton Tucker getting a good roll off that turn. 1 and 2 will go to Vincent Arthur. But is Vincent Arthur sandbagging him here? Probably say no. Dalton Tucker has put the time in and he's going to try to run him down.
They are both running 24/7, separated only by hundredths.
It has been a little bit of time, but we've gotten under the 100 lap mark to the end of this race. Guys are going to be squeezing it together, wondering whether or not they're going to be able to make it. I do want to check back on Nick Geilis out there. Said Geilis had a problem back here on lap 130. Contact with the wall, something. This was no caution.
Righty. I believe that's the second time he's come off track.
Boy, oh boy. Did you see him coming out of 4, though, when he hits this wall? I mean, remember we saw how he smacked into the third. Wall. Wall again. I just can't get off of there.
Yeah. We always say it's like it magnetizes you.
Yep, and pulls him in. Dalton Tucker, the closest ever to get out there and reach out and touch Vincent Arthur. Now, when it comes time to come down and pit, does Dalton Tucker stay out? Tucker has been staying out for another lap or so here to try to see if he could change something up just a little bit.
Me, if Vincent Arthur goes in, I'd go in too. You, at this point, like you say, this is as close as he's been. He's actually lost a quarter of a second in the last couple laps. I would not take the chance of being 2 or 3 cars back.
So you think a possibility of trying to shorten up his pit stop time instead of dragging it out. So if they came in on, let's say, 160, you wouldn't come in and pit on lap 162 to see if you could change it up a little bit. Because that strategy has been working so far for Dalton Tucker. He's got a little bit fresher tires and is able to run Vincent Arthur down. But if he comes in and times it with him, it'll level the playing field between these two, as Dalton Tucker hasn't gotten a scratch on that car has really been taking care of that race car, so it is now taking care of him. But unfortunately, Dalton Tucker at 3 wide as the 31 machine fired right up the center. Tay McDonald was caught on the outside. So Blake Hoppy feeling a little gutsy out there as he shoots right up the gut, and he's now seeing if he can get one of his laps back here from Vincent Arthur. Hoppy with all this speed because he came down on lap 144 for fresh tires. Round he goes. Yeah, good move there by Vincent Arthur, hanging up there toward the top. Going ahead and letting Hoppy rotate on the bottom and clearing on by, which doesn't cost Vincent Arthur any time out there on the track.
No, not at all. That will, he'll still be 3 laps down at this point, but, you know, lucky dogs happen. And we shall live to race another day. Let him by.
Yep, definitely be holding their breath here, seeing if they can keep going. Now Dalton Tucker normally hangs out in the voice of Hendrick Motorsports, but I am not seeing that case here tonight. Dalton Tucker is up there with Chip Nossi Racing, with Mike Moultrie and Brian Powell. Moultrie currently sitting down in 12th. Moultrie is going to be followed by Brian Powell, who's currently sitting in 13th. Those guys
we have our next. We have our next guy who's taking it to the garage, and that would be number 10 of Jacob Lee.
Oh, that did it for him on the night. Ended up with some early trouble. Sam Taylor may be our next one, as it looks like the number 12 sitting down in pit here for the last 4 minutes. We'll see if they can keep going. Remember, they do have to keep trucking along. Any bonus points out here that these guys would be earning from staying out there on the track?
Oh, absolutely. There's always bonus points to be had. They get bonus points also for being clean, if I remember right.
Being clean, finishing half the race, that sort of thing. All right. Now we'll definitely keep those guys held to that. I know some of the points chase, which we will update you guys when we get to Las Vegas, of where our points are. Oddly enough, you would think Tyler DeTalent would be in the lead, but he is not battling for points out here in this league. So, Stella, who are our top 5 in the points?
In the points this evening, as of Daytona, is first Cody Reeder, followed by Brian Jones, Dustin Kleba, Dalton Tucker, and Cody Smith, bringing up your top 5.
Speaking of Brian Jones, he's working his way down pit road following Tay McDonald. And everybody's big question here is what happens to Vincent Arthur and what happens to Dalton Tucker. When do they come down? Right now, Vincent Arthur getting a little bit loose coming out of turn number 4 as he follows behind the 41 machine of Brian Powell. And Nick Pressey out there in the 0. Arthur having to apply some extra pressure here to those right side tires as he fights underneath Powell. Powell holding them up. Dalton Tucker down on the bottom. I would say, Stella, that may be some teamwork there. He's getting the 41 to kind of brake check Vincent Arthur a little bit there to hold him up.
Business decision?
Yeah, there we go. Business decision. All right, Grant Thorpe, calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. So as we continue to see some great racing, right now Vincent Arthur is working his way down into pit road here, as he has definitely done his time out there on the tires. So Dalton Tucker decides to stay out. Josh Conover and Nick Essery, guys, come on down. Dalton Tucker, yep, the lap after. He is finding some sort of workability with that strategy. Bringing Dalton Tucker on down. Dylan Picklesheimer will go ahead and assume the lead here. Picklesheimer, if he can get across fast enough. Nope. All right, that'll put him in the lead now. So Picklesheimer trying to see if he can pick up 5 bonus points out there. We're leading the lap. be able to go ahead and get around Vincent Arthur. Mike Moultrie back onto the lead lap, currently sitting in 5th. He'll move himself up to 2nd if he can get around Dalton Tucker, who Tucker is now working his way out of pit as we speak. Number 1 machine there of Brady Moats. Moats, I believe, down is another lap than that, so currently sitting down a couple. Stella, I mean, look at this race. No cautions here. All the way through lap 164. This is fantastic. Normally Rockingham, this is a slaughter match. Everybody is active survival to the end. Do you think it's from about a mid-car count here, or is we just seeing guys that are just knowing how to drive these Gen 4 cars?
C, all of the above. Yeah, we haven't had a caution since lap 50. Don't want to jinx it for sure. But yeah, over 100 laps here is phenomenal.
Huh. All right. Still racing out here pretty good as we stay here with Dalton Tucker. Right now, I think Tucker is having some trouble with a blinking card here to the outside. That is Tay McDonald we keep losing out there. All right, Dalton Tucker gets around Tay McDonald. So he's using the Echo Fastener machine to keep all together out there. 45 of Brian Jones starting to make up the distance. He's chasing. Taking a look at some of our times. Dalton Tucker is trying to stay out in front of Brian Jones. He's making up some time. 2 seconds before he can find Mike Moultrie.
Daryl Johnson is off track. I wonder if he had a little spin out of his own.
Yeah, we can take a look back. Let's take a quick peek and see what happened to Daryl Johnson here. Oh, hits that bump. Oh, hits the bump. Oh, hang on.
Yep.
Goes down and scrubs the grass here. No caution.
That's okay.
That is great for the rest of the racers. Terrible for the racer.
Agreed.
So 8 drivers. Currently, I'm showing on the lead lap.
And ooh, that was an entire turn. Tay was out there.
Yep. Al Lyken's working his way back down for his 5th pit stop here of the night.
Yeah, Nick Geilis just came back out, doing the same. Blake Hoppy should be the next.
Oh!
Yeah.
Nick Geilis chomping the wall again here.
It loves him. Would love to see these guys on us. Oh, crunch.
Yeah, right now 97 trying to hold on to it here. This is not looking good.
No, sir, it is not.
Yeah, Geilis out there. Go ahead.
Bent up. Bent up.
Yeah, starting to get more and more damage as we go. Geilis last came down on 164. Those tires aren't old. I'm just wondering if this track is getting way too slick for him out there. And this is Nick Geilis we are taking a look at out there in the Kurt Busch machine. Right now he's going to need some Irwin bits out there. Is Daryl Johnson.
Oh.
Damage.
Wow. Did he get the...
Yes, I think he earned it. Let's see.
Oh. Oh, no.
I think he earns it. Does he get it? Slides out of control, comes down, and boom.
Oh,
All about barrels.
Yes. All about barrels award.
Holy cow.
Oh, man.
So that is going to do it there for Daryl Johnson as it totals him out.
Oh.
Nice
Blake
little throwback there to the Racing Revolution for the All About Barrels Award. Thank those gentlemen for that. Definitely check out the Racing Revolution. Another fantastic league we broadcasted for.
A lot of smoke.
Yeah, well, we got guys sliding around here, and seeing that we have no cautions is beyond me. This is crazy. I mean,
well, that's the low car count and the spread out.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, wow, Pressy. Yeah, going down, looking to see if there's any barrier grease, but it's crazy to see the amount of smoke that's happening out here, the amount of spinouts we're seeing, no caution. I think some of the drivers would love to see this get clumped up again and try to run these guys back down, and it not make that much of an issue. Like right now, Mike Moultrie would love something like that, as currently sitting on the lead lap in 12th, scrambling to make sure he doesn't go another lap down here.
Yeah, because he just came in for tires again on 171. So he actually has, I believe, the freshest tires on the track.
Yes. Yes, he does. They are 10 laps newer than Vincent Arthur's currently, so this is almost going to be a scrub. Looking out there, Rick James, TV. Nick Pressy, who's currently holding in 9th. Yeah, Pressy is actually one of the drivers I've seen consistently dropping that left tire below the paint.
Guess this is a track that the apron will facilitate that.
Yeah, well, not very long. We've seen a lot of guys actually losing more control being on the track.
Yeah.
Take a look. Pressy's now chasing down Brady Motes. That is him looking for 8th.
Now, Mike Moultrie, when he did come down, this is the first time I have seen him not have a 14-second pit stop. He went in at 18:10.
Oh, dog!
Hello.
You asked for Moultrie, and Moultrie's around. There's our caution. Holy cow. Last caution we had was back on lap 49. 176 is the next time we see that yellow flag. And Moultrie is heavily damaged. Not even a little bit, heavily damaged. Nick Gillis as well. But Gillis has been down in pit road for quite some time. We've seen him in the 97, clearancing the right side of the car. But Moultrie, holy cow, what a hit. And we're going to go back and take a look at it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Tell me it doesn't whip him. Yep, boom!
Oh, Lee. Miss. Oh!
A couple of guys they are hitting the wall. A couple of guys are scrubbing the wall, though.
Oh. I was impressed. I mean, we've seen so many leagues where they just, ooh, there's a car. And full speed ahead, just T-bone him. That's excellent.
Wow.
I see the crew chief down there talking to him.
Yeah, I think they're checking to see if he's all right.
Arms were flying, boy. And now we have that whole scale.
Oh, 110%. I would say some of our guys are looking to get their lap back first to see if they can get back on track.
That'd be Pressy, McDonald, Gladelick.
Yep, so Pressy's going to get the wave around. Tay McDonald and Gladelick should get their lap back, seeing that they have not pit. I think it's kind of a gutsy call here, but we'll see how it goes. Pressy working his way on down. Had it to the floor to fight in there. Checking back out there. Rick James TV, what's the fuel window? Stella, I would say the fuel window we've been looking at sits around that 35 to 40 lap mark. What you're seeing most of here tonight is an issue with tires. It's not a fuel, not a fuel distance here. It's guys weighing their options, whether to pit or not, seeing that the fall off is over 2 seconds after 30 laps. So do they weigh that? Do they get, is that playing into a factor? 100%, but I would say fuel is not what we're circling here. It's going to be that tire length and that tire wear and the tire endurance that they can tolerate out here at the Rock. So right now we sit here with Brian Joneses. The rest of the field does play catch up here. I would say everybody a little bit laggy here, as I believe pace car lights should still hopefully be on. That way we can clump the rest of this track back together. It looks like these guys are still chasing to get back up there. Pressy, after a good pit stop there, 23 seconds in the box.
Ooh, that's a good pit stop?
Well, he reach underneath, pull that right front fender up off the tire a little bit, make sure we get a little bit of clearance and get back out there.
I'll take that.
Yeah, Vincent Arthur's DuPont team a little slower in the pit stall here lately. Right now, 14:57. That is still good and decently fast. But 14:37 is going to go to Brian Jones, who sits right behind him.
Yeah, I think we have a couple more fellas who've taken it to the garage.
All right, we'll rotate over that here in just a second as we get back under green, lap 183 underway. This bringing us to less than 50 laps left to go here. Brian Jones making a cut down. Remember, everybody's bout on fresh tires here, so it should level the playing field other than damage. Brian Jones going to try to outreach him. The driver I definitely am concerned about is Dalton Tucker. How in the world did he end up so far off pace here? Dalton Tucker currently holding in 7th as he's staying out in front of Nick Pressey. That is Al Likens there putting in the rear view. And seeing if he can chase it on down. Hopping inside there with Dalton Tucker. Oh, huge check up there. Does that look like Matthew George? He goes ahead and gets around. Matthew George currently sitting in the 14th spot. This is what happens when you got lap cars up toward the front. That's going to definitely tumble our guys up.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, there's some contact. A little door-to-door action. Here with the number 2 with Dylan Picklesheimer and the 41 out there of Brian Powell. Powell, the first one here to see if he can get a couple of his laps back. Brady Motes is trying to stay out in front. So he is currently waiting on waiver out. If he could get one. Wow.
Whoop. That was, you could feel that one.
Yeah, Dalton Tucker trying to really keep his mind his P's and Q's here. As right now, whoa, Essery doing some work here. Right now, that tide machine is, wow, washing up the track. There you go. There's a good little fun for you.
Oh. I'd give you that.
Yep.
I'd give you that.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. All right. Right now, Brady Motes.
He's not driving a pod.
Yeah. Well, remember that Tay McDonald and Jacob Gladelick had last time pit on lap 157 and 158.
Yes.
These guys are
the only ones on old tires.
Yeah. Now they're going to be weighing their options here. As right now, I'm showing Cody Height having some trouble. Way slow here out of the 15. I'm showing you that nose has got some damage.
Some. There's no front end.
Yep, right,
My
right there.
We're not done.
Ooh, look out. Now, see, how was that not a caution? The guy's sideways in front of the field. Wow. All right. iRacing being very lenient here. All right, that's Dalton Tucker right now. He is in the mix, looking to see if he can get Justin Bland behind him, following the 32 machine. Tucker out there in the 42, seeing if he can push past. Loses some ground here on the exit. Sees Dylan Picklesheimer still with some right front damage. The Miller Lite machine. Boy, oh boy, as these guys definitely shuffle back and forth. Vincent Arthur getting the separation he needs from Brian Jones. Josh Conover looks like he'd be happy to come away with a podium position. Number 1 into the wall.
Blue car behind number 1 took it into the wall, too.
Boy, hard hit there from Brady Motes. Into the wall.
Yeah, that was Picklesheimer that took a chunk.
Yeah, both those cars processed there by the track. Round up and spit back out onto the track, so they're going to be fighting here. We'll take a look back. This is looking off Essery. As Dalton Tucker full send into that turn, trying to get underneath them here. Wow, yeah! Now give it to Dalton Tucker. He does make the pass before the next caution comes out. Dalton Tucker will be having a 4th place start in this one. Caution does come out, I believe. He had a driver going around.
Who's the offender? some blown engines back here.
Yeah, I see Sam Taylor in the number 12 and Nick Gillis in the 97. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Sam Taylor, I was giving him kudos for being 6 laps down, and he kept coming back out of the pits and kept rolling. Oh.
Look at the amount of damage.
Yeah. I think he wins the...
cow.
Oh, come on. You can get there.
Yeah, they'll make it into pit road. I think what everybody's worried about is the chunk of cars coming in now.
That would be 1 through 10.
Yeah, it looks like Brady Moats does stay out, gets the wave around. So he'll end up back onto the lead lap here. I'll be pretty happy about that. Sure, we'll see him coming down into pits. Everybody throwing another set of tires on. They should have enough.
Yeah. Oh. There was a little piece of pit strategy. Mr. Josh Conover. He did not take 4 tires.
No, he did not. We'll see if that comes back and bites him here. All right, let's see what happens to Nick Gillis out there and Sam Taylor. Oh, they're side by side.
Oh.
Holy cow, Sam Taylor.
Yeah, that,
Wow.
That was painful.
Again. Look at this angle. Yeah, like the 12 rotates down, the 97 can't recover. Bam! Boy, it looked like the Daytona 500 out there. I believe it was Bell who went on his roof.
Debris on the track.
Wow, awesome. Awesome.
Good for the pit car for a quick reaction time.
Mind-blowing.
Pace car.
All right, Rick James out there is asking the schemes have to be from 04. I believe 03 is the year we're looking for.
Yeah,
he says the 15 is from the 01 scheme era.
We'll have to take that one up with the admin.
Yep. Cody Height might be getting squeezed here. All right, speaking of which, let's go ahead and get back under green. Conover gets out in front of Vincent Arthur. Arthur going to see if those left side tires are going to pay off. Now as they slice on through, Josh Conover got a great restart here, but Vincent Arthur's been untouchable most of this race. I think Conover is starting to think, you know, we have a whole nother pit stop left to go. And wow, does he get a great move here. Did you see the separation Conover gets on the exit of turn 4? Vincent Arthur having to pay for that one. And currently Conover's gaining about a 10th each turn.
Impressive. He's got that fresh air that everybody craves. Yeah. Not bad.
No, number 1 spot out there with fresh air is definitely a coveted position. About 38 laps left to go here. Right now Vincent Arthur now starting to pick up the pace as the tires seed in. But are they going to burn their stuff up before the end? If we have another caution squeeze out here at the end, I expect to see these two guys come down and hit one more time.
Okay.
I believe fuel-wise, they should be able to make it, coming in on lap 194. Back under green around 197. And we have been playing cat and mouse out here. Ryan Jones now starting to knock down some fast times out there through turn 1 and 2, knocking down just about a 12 seconds flat. We'll see how his last lap looks with a 23.83. That is just a hair off his fastest time of the night. With a 23.82 as being his fastest, 23.83 is what he just ran. Ryan Jones starting to knock down these times here.
Yeah, a couple interesting notes here. Tay McDonald on his 196 pit stop did not take tires. when did he come down before that? Do you have that info?
Let me see here just a second. I probably do. Let's see. Mr. Tay McDonald. Let's see. Enter pit lane.
Because I know sometimes they come down in 194, they'll do all their stuff, and then they'll come down again in 196 for a splash.
Yeah, I'm seeing he entered pit lane on 194, came in on 195 and 196.
Okay, I feel better.
Yep.
Because he was running on 150 tires. But Mr. Mike Moultrie has decided to take it to the garage.
Yeah. I can't say I don't blame him. He kind of got mangled there on that caution back on 176.
That was a thrashing.
Yeah, he definitely got maimed. Look at that. Brian Jones ride Vincent Arthur up into the turn. And watch Vincent Arthur start to wheel this thing. Definitely looks like Jeff Gordon behind the wheel of this one. Excellent job. Yeah, I was going to say, he's got a lot to live up to. Some people may hate Gordon, may love him, but you got to admit, he can do a lot of things with that race car out there. Here we come with 31 laps left to go. Vincent Arthur now starting to go out there and be able to reach and touch Josh Conover. Biding his time. Tay McDonald still blinking out a little bit there in the back around Picklesheimer. And Jacob Gladelick.
Can't be happy about that.
No. Well, right now you are looking at your top 4 drivers. Conover, Arthur, Brian Jones, Dalton Tucker. All separated within half a second of each other.
Oh, goodness. From first to fourth,
yes.
A half a second.
Yeah, first to fourth. And they are now leaving the field. This is looking back from Dalton Tucker as a 2-second gap to find Essery.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. Dalton Tucker getting plenty of camera time here tonight. This guy's really been working hard. We want to give a shout out to our 2 hard chargers now, giving it to Dylan Picklesheimer and Tay McDonald. We're currently holding 8th and 9th. Conover getting loose. Yeah, terrible turn coming out of 2. Right now, I think Vincent Arthur's kind of chuckling a little bit, thinking he might be shaking up his teammate. Right now, at least 2 drivers, Hendrick Motorsports, sitting in the 1 and 2 positions. Good night for that ownership team. They are able to get out there, command and conquer. A little more smoke out there on the track.
Yeah, they could use it because right now Hendrick Motorsports is sitting in 11th. I think is their top finisher.
Remember, they weren't doing so well out there when it came to Daytona. They were all kind of got mashed up right there at the end. Here's Vincent Arthur taking a look. I think he notices Josh Conover. That 2-tire call is now starting to set in. Conover able to hold the lead, though. That's going to work. They're going to try to jam him into Hoppy. Hoppy going to be getting caught up here. Yep, Hoppy going to stay high side. That's going to be where Vincent Arthur's going to want to roll. Conover going to pinch him.
Follows it down, no problem at all. Now look at Dalton, though. He is making a move on Brian Jones.
Yeah, well, right now I think he's trying to see if there's an opportunity for a 2-for-1. If he can get around Brian Jones here, can he reach up and get a hold of Conover and Vincent Arthur, who are nose to nose right here at the line? And by just a bit of quarter of the car, gets Josh Conover over the line. But I think Vincent Arthur's got him here between 1 and 2. 24 machine able to rotate through. Still door to door here. Battle along through right now, Stella. I always wonder when drivers are like this, side by side, if they ever think about what's happening up here in the booth, saying, boy, this has got to be a good show we're putting on, as these 2 are going at it. And now if you want to roll this back, this is Dale Jr. going after Jeff Gordon, who just made the pass with 23 laps left to go. Pass made here all the way back on lap 214 here. As they continue to battle and try to kill each other, Josh Conover, terrible turn, drops him to 4th.
Nick Geilis is still trying to fix his car down here in pit road, but Sam Taylor has called it a night.
Yep, Sam Taylor takes it back to the garage. Stella, give me a count number on how many drivers have taken it into the infield and decided to call it and has had enough.
That'd be 9. That's kind of high.
9 drivers totaled out, but the rock is extremely tough. That's what you expect to see. We don't have as many cautions as I thought we would, but definitely had a decent slew of them. Brian Jones now having the opportunity to attack Vincent Arthur here. Remember, these are the only 2 drivers who's been able to get a leg up on Vincent Arthur here all night. Brian Jones, Dalton Tucker. I think Josh Conover. If we are able to talk to him in a podium position, if we end up with another late race caution, should he have taken 4? Because right now, Josh Conover's feeling the pressure here. If Conover took only right sides, that left rear tire is what failed on him and caused him to make contact out there with the wall and end up shuffling it back down to the 4th position, and now 2.3 seconds off pace. Now
if he hadn't taken 2 tires, he wouldn't have been up here in the top 5 as contention.
Yeah, that may be a possibility. That may be a possibility. Everybody else took 4. I think he may have been able to just scrub it and be able to have an opportunity. I give it to him with the amount of cautions that we started stacking up there. When we saw one happen on lap 160, then 176, and then right after that, around the lap 188 mark, yeah, it started stacking up. We were expecting a whole bunch of cautions here, but that may have to be scrubbed. Take a look, Dalton Tucker, 0.6 of a second off here.
That puff of smoke, was that Brian Jones touching the wall?
No. No, that was from somebody at the back of the field that they are now starting to catch up to.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Good.
Yep. Yeah, tough night for a lot of these drivers out here. Let's rotate back and take a look at Tay, putting a little pressure here on Nick Pressey. Pressey trying to keep his roll going, currently sitting 8th. Vincent Arthur, the only driver with the opportunity here to finish exactly where he started. So from pole position to the end, that would definitely be a great night for Vincent Arthur. You see Picklesheimer. Yeah, we call Picklesheimer up to 7th position with a 17th position gain here on the night.
Very nice job.
I do like what the National Oval Racing Association does is they hold qualifying. You had a bad night tonight, you go over there and go ahead and qualify yourself so you know what you've got upcoming for the next race. These guys able to clump it together. So I don't know about you, Stella. I really enjoy that part. These guys able to take a little bit of an opportunity to go out there and, all right, well, I finished first, and then you go out there and qualify in 17th. Now you know you got some work cut out for you this upcoming week. You know what options or what practice do you need to do to see if you can get some more practice before you end up having to take it to the big show, which ends up being on Monday night starting at 8:30.
That is where we are.
13.
Now, what do we have the rest of the week?
For
racing. You were saying that's Monday night at 8:30. What about
yes.
Wednesday?
Oh, go on. You got it. You're with me most nights.
Well, Wednesday is the Bandit Racing League. We find them running in the well, a little bit of everything. They do the 87s, they do the Xfinities, and they do the Next Gen.
Yes, I believe Next Gen will be at Atlanta on Wednesday night. Then we move to the USORL Series. That will be on Thursday for the Long John Silver's 125 at Martinsville.
And then you even do Saturday.
Yes, that we do. We should be rotating over to Atlanta
in the another Gen 4 league.
Yep. I believe it's not only that, it's going to be the UAW Daimler Chrysler 400, so that should be a good race. Definitely a good race. Appreciate all you guys joining us here at SimTraX Broadcasting. 10 laps left to go here at the Subway 240 at Rockingham. The Rock has come up and bid at least 9 drivers tonight who have taken it back to the garage. 10 if we choose Guileless, who's been down in pit road for the last 15 minutes.
9 with Guileless, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I see Cody Height is still out there rolling around right now. He's lap 204. Yeah, he's trying to keep her together. Right now, I think that 15 machine has definitely been dealt a bad hand here tonight. He's ended up with a ton of damage. I think the one that really did him in was on lap 185. And we kind of smoked him out. He went up and smashed that wall right around the start-finish line. So it looks like that. No, they've gone ahead and replaced the clip on the front end there. And Stella with 8 laps left to go. It looks like everybody's going to try to squeak this out all the way to the end. Conover marches out of the top 5, sitting in 6th.
He does, yeah. He was just overtaken by Justin Bland.
Boy, heartbreaker there for Josh Conover. He started 10th, though, so 6th would be better. Picklesheimer and Tay McDonald are lined up for the hard charger here of the night.
And only our top 11 are currently on the lead lap.
Yeah, Brady Moats getting his lap back at the last caution. And it looks like Vincent Arthur might be driving away with this one. He's still half a second out in front of Brian Jones, but Jones not seeming to make any headway here. And if he is, he needs to do it now. Wow, Jones sideways.
Yeah, he goes 4/10 to 5/10, but doesn't really get any closer. Like you say, Vincent Arthur has turn 1 and 2 different than 3 and 4, and that's when he makes up his time.
Tough. All right.
Not giving up yet.
Yep. Do appreciate everybody joining us tonight, though. Don't forget to subscribe. You'll be able to see all our upcoming feeds going up there as well. Increase the numbers out there for me on our subscribers. Show me how much you love this channel, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like is a good idea, especially if it's a race that you enjoy the most out there. I know some of the drivers who win races end up hitting the like. That way they can share it with their friends at work. Things like that, being able to rub it in their face. Look at what I did last night. That sort of thing. Definitely consider subscribing. Vincent Arthur looking at less than 2.5 miles before he finishes this race as he continues charging on. Dylan Picklesheimer looking to see if he can get one more position. Josh Conover is going to be next. He's looking to see if he can put Conover down to 7th. Picklesheimer having to triangulate that turn. You got to admit here right now, Conover is dealing with a ton of tire wear here, and that is what's allowing Picklesheimer, who had damage on that right front, to see if he can overcome.
They are. Ooh.
Yeah, both of them with some right front damage. White flag does come out, though. Vincent Arthur out in front by 0.4 of a second. Over top, Picklesheimer to the line. Beats Conover here, but can he squeeze out and make it? Vincent Arthur only 2 turns away from the win. Great job here by Vincent Arthur as he comes across the line here at the Rock. The Subway 240 is going to go to Vincent Arthur. So we'll check back in on Picklesheimer as he races along here with Conover. He loses it. Picklesheimer up to 6th.
Wow. Right at the end.
Yeah. Beat him by 0.2 of a second right there as the official time. Vincent Arthur comes away with his first win here of the season. So that'll line him up for the Bud Shootout next round. Not only via a win, but via the pole he ended up securing.
Ah, that's the race where all the pole winners from the previous season get to race for glory?
Yep.
Nice.
Oh. I thought he stalled it out.
He might have something.
Doink.
Did he run out of fuel?
No, here we go.
Was he truly stuck?
I'm not sure. I thought it might have been picture time.
There we go. I believe this might be the first time I've ever seen anybody get into victory lane and pose. That's a great picture.
Yep. Looks good, looks good. Let's go ahead and find our guys and find where your favorite driver ended up here tonight at the Subway 240. Definitely a nail biter there at the end, especially for Conover. Definitely able to squeak a couple of those last couple of laps, especially as they almost killed each other right at the end.
Yeah.
So we did have over 24 drivers here as we find all the way Chris Snyder. He's the one who ended up getting the worst of it out there, the 48 machine. Looked like that car just whipped to the side. And that's why we were all assuming here he had a mechanical issue. All right, Stella, what do you say we find our drivers and go ahead and have a chat with these guys?
That'd be awesome.
All right, hold on, guys, just a moment. This will be a perfect time for you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, so it looks like we try to run down our third place driver here. And what a race he had tonight. He had been battling up and down, spent the most time out there on the track during practice, and he ends up coming away with a third place finish. Well earned. Dalton Tucker, what a race here, buddy, at the Rock.
Yeah, that was literally exhausting. My hands, everything is just done. I was trying to pick up my phone, and I felt like almost like my hands were just stuck shut.
Oh, no.
Man.
White knuckle on the steering wheel for a while there, huh?
Yeah, it was extremely loose, but also fun and very rewarding for like long runs.
Yeah, the long run. We did get a huge long run there for a little bit. I think we almost went 140 laps without a caution. And what a race that was toward the end. Is that where you found most of your gaining out there?
Yeah, I was just chipping away at Vincent the whole time on those long runs, and if it would have gone caution-free, it would have been interesting. I don't know if I could have passed them and done all that, but I would have loved to have seen that, because lo and behold, caution comes out, I get a speeding penalty, and it kind of messed me up a little, but luckily we were able to get back up there and kind of put on a show. I started saving, so I went way off the pace at the end.
Yeah, we were wondering what you were doing way back there. I think you restarted back in 7th. I knew you were chipping away at Vincent Arthur out there. He definitely had the car to win here tonight, but a third place finish isn't bad, especially after starting back in 8th. But how does this transfer over to Vegas next week?
It's very different, so it's gonna be interesting, but a lot of confidence going forward. I don't race this car very much, so I was kind of uneasy after qualifying. So after the race, feel a little bit better, especially long runs, because I think I had the car to beat on a long run. It's just the fuel cell just wasn't quite big enough to quite gain more at the end. But a lot of confidence for next week. Not sure how that's going to transfer over, but hopefully we can turn it into another top 3.
All right, well, we're definitely going to hold you to that. Dalton Tucker, shout-out time.
Just appreciate you guys as always, and my teammates over at Chip Ganassi. Michael was up front for majority of the race, but took 2 tires and found out the hard way that was not the way to go. Appreciate Brian stepping in as well. First race in the 41, I think came home with 13th, so good job to him as well. And as always, just appreciate my family for tuning in, and hopefully we can get in victory lane sooner or later for them.
I think your time is coming, man. I'm not sure when, but we've seen how you can do it, and I definitely believe we'll see you there again. Congratulations on putting the 42 Haviline Dodge into the 3rd position. We'll see how you do at Vegas.
Thank you, sir.
All right, not bad there. Not bad at all there by Dalton Tucker. But we move on to our 2nd place finisher here, Brian Jones. Now, he felt pretty confident out there. He also put up a fight, but both Brian Jones and Dalton Tucker were duking it out most here of the race. Brian, I am assuming you enjoyed that long green flag run we had.
Yeah, it was very ideal to get a long green flag run. I feel like there was a section in the race where I was thinking we're going to run this entire thing green. So it was really good racing out there, and proud of the guys for keeping it clean.
Yeah, one of those things that it does make you question the Rock is what groove and what line you should take out there. Now, we saw some guys scrubbing down below the paint. We saw guys riding high, but I've heard from 90% of the drivers, this is a 1-lane track, but you seem to make it work for you. You weren't too far back. You started top 5 here during the night, but it doesn't seem you moved back at all. How tough was it out there, here at Rockingham?
Well, I was just trying to learn as the race went on. At the beginning, I was staying above the yellow line on entry, and then Vincent was whooping me pretty good on the long run, so I decided to try and dip it a little below the yellow on entry, change the brake bias a little bit. I never really figured it out on the super long run. I could keep up with them for about 15 to 20 laps. But yeah, it's, keeping that right front tire cool and not scrubbing it too much is really the key out here.
Boy, and that's going to be one of those things you don't know how in the world you're going to make it and how you're going to survive, especially right at the end. But I would question, is there any sort of an opportunity that we may see, you coming back or coming away with a win here pretty soon, seeing that we head to Vegas next week?
Well, it's going to depend if the 24 shows up. If he does, then it might be kind of tough. This was kind of the golden opportunity. Yeah, the 24 is here, but Dustin Kleba and my teammate Cody Reeder, both those guys were not here this week. They went to the Daytona 500, so it was kind of a little bit of a golden opportunity to try and get one, other than the 24 being here. But yeah, next week is Vegas. It's one of my best tracks. But again, it's one of those things you're gonna have to save the right front. And it seems like Vincent has got that down.
Boy. Vincent with a tough race here tonight, man. He definitely fought through the field a couple of times there, but no penalties down pit road. Everything went okay, and he definitely wheeled that car around. But man, oh man, did you do an awesome job here for a 2nd place finish. Shout out time. Talk to me about this Home Field 45 machine.
Yeah, Home Field Apparel. They're going to come out with another season of speed. So if you like vintage racing T-shirts and vintage racing apparel, go check out Home Field Apparel. This whole spring, as we go into the Indy 500 in May, they're going to start releasing some new apparel. So go check them out. And we just got upgraded from 15% off to 20% off using code Alanis20.
-20.
Nice.
All right. Well, Stella, that should do it here for Brian Jones. Congratulations on your second place finish, buddy. And we will hold our breath to see if and when we're going to find you in victory lane.
Yes, sir. We'll see you there.
All right. Very, very close there for Brian Jones. But that's going to move us to our guy who ended up going wire to wire here on this race. Vincent Arthur, well, looks like your time to shine was tonight. You ended up coming away with the win here at the Rock. Dealt with a little bit of damage earlier here in the race. How detrimental was it to your car?
If I'm gonna be honest, I really didn't feel it. Seems like all the contact I had tonight was a 0.24x, so a little bit of netco was involved. But yeah, I mean, the DuPont Chevrolet was on rails. I didn't think this was going to be a race where I would come in here and dominate the way that I did, but I'll take it, especially this early in the season and not having a great run at Daytona. It's always nice to bounce back, and this series has the bonus point for leading a lap and another one for leading the most laps. So I think for there being no stages and just a flat out race, to come away with the most points possible, I think that's the best way that we could have bounced back from a bad finish there at Daytona.
Yeah, well, as we seesaw back and forth as we move you through this field, a couple of different pit strategies out there. Moultrie looked like he had maybe an idea of what to do and what was going on, but both of you ran into some lap traffic that ended up burning you guys a little bit later in the end. Now, obviously, Moultrie ended up wiping out a little bit later here in this race, but man, was it a tough race, and was Moultrie the only guy you were really nervous about that may have you on any sort of strategy out there?
No, I don't really think so. I mean, this style of racing is it's a lot of fun. It's refreshing to not have planned yellows, to just go out there and you don't know when the caution's going to come. So you don't just split the stages like you normally do and then pit halfway through this third stage. You actually have to plan out green flag stops, and then when the cautions do come out, seeing what the strategies were. But the 40 definitely had an interesting strategy. I think he stayed out there. I think it was the second caution, maybe the third caution. He stayed out there, and tires were worth a lot tonight. So from there, I don't think he was able to really bounce back from it, and I think he would have had to have made an additional pit stop if it had gone green there to the end. So I wasn't too worried about it. I think like the people that I was most worried about was Brian, obviously, but then Dalton really had, Brian had, the first 15 to 20 laps definitely put the pressure on me, but then Dalton would really come into stride, and he would have the pace for the end of the run there. So just being able to manage my stuff and not burn it out, not let those guys force me into a mistake, and save enough fuel there to go to the end. That was really the biggest key strategy wise to be able to win the race tonight.
Yeah, that and also Josh Conover taking 2 tires there at the last stint. I think he was hoping for another caution that you guys would all pile back down, and he had an opportunity, but that did not work out there for you Hendrick Motorsports guys. But talk to me about Vegas here before we get your shout-outs. Coming off a win here, this has got to feel pretty good, but now we head to Vegas. It should be pretty much a chip shot here for some of the drivers out there, but qualifying is going to be crucial at that track. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think every mile and a half I've ran this car at, you can move around, and I don't think I've run the same line twice at any of the tracks that we've done in their preseason testing. So anything with 900 horsepower, it's light, small tires. This thing's an absolute blast to drive. So I'm really looking forward to it personally. I also like this format, championship format, a little better, where consistency will pay off. So I feel like that's one of my strong suits as a driver. So go out there, try to have a good run, try to get a bonus point for leading a lap. Hopefully, we can pull off a similar performance that we had here tonight, and just continue on continue this momentum into the rest of the year. It's going to be a long one.
All right, I'm going to give you the floor here to talk to us about the sponsors on the car there, bud.
Yeah, thanks to DuPont Hendrick Motorsports, this league and what they're doing and bringing every real team and scheme from 2004. It's really neat. I'm glad to be a part of it. So thanks to Josh Conover and Flatline Motorsports for doing this. Got to thank Damn Good Sleep, Wake Up Narcolepsy, Red Bull. The people you don't see on the car right now, but are helping with the racing behind the scenes here. So On top of that, thanks to all the people watching, thanks to my viewers, I'm now streaming, so I'm gonna try to dip my foot into that. And thank you guys for putting on this broadcast.
All right, Vincent Arthur, congratulations on your win out there, buddy, and we'll definitely hold our breath and see what you can do at Vegas. Congratulations.
Thanks, sir.
All right, Vincent Arthur getting into the streaming business. All right.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we'll see how he holds out there. Stella, anything left to add here at the National Oval Racing Association here?
No, looking forward to next week. We'll go from a mile to a mile and a half, so we'll see how that adjusts their strategies. Every week is a different game.
Yep, that it is, especially here with this league. Now, I know Vincent Arthur would be one of those paid-in drivers, so his should help him move way up here on the points. Unfortunately, Tyler the Talent would not be, but that is A-OK. Definitely a super speedway win. He came away with a win, and now our second winner here of the season goes to Vincent Arthur out there in the number 24 machine. All right, that should do it for us here at SimTraX Broadcasting, bringing you the NORA Gen 4 Cup Series. Be well, be safe, be kind. We'll see all you guys next time.